friends, and welcome back to Like Anime. My name's George, and with me is Tony.
Hi.
We are your local, yes, local podcast. We talk about anime and just try to keep it real, keep it
We
lax.
we are local to the internet.
Yes,
Everywhere that the internet reaches, we are local to.
your local internet podcast on Japanese animation,
Hmm.
the new, cutting edge, and kind of lame sometimes, but that's just this season, I guess.
Yeah, this season is pretty bad.
But we are back. If you've been following along, we have been off for 2 weeks officially. Wasn't intended that way, but 2 weeks ago we had a recording error. It was on my part. I only recorded one channel, which happened to be me. I didn't.
Oh, just happened to be you.
It was a happy accident.
Hmm.
Hmm. Just kidding. I was very upset about it, and so we lost a lot of that stuff. But we'd already planned to have a week off, which was last week, and so we had done some special episodes. We covered Sailor Moon Crystal slash Sailor Moon Eternal,
Mm.
and then we covered Wonder Egg Priority, which my mom listened to and was like, "Oh yeah, I heard you talk about suicide." I was like, "Oh, that must be Wonder Egg."
Must be.
So shout out to my mom and moms everywhere who listen to anime podcasts. But yeah, we're back. We got a lot to talk about. But on this first episode, we're kind of mixing it up. We're going to, just try to keep this first one casual, talk about a little news here. And then we're also going to drop some shows. We got several new shows that at this point we've seen enough and we're good.
Yeah, we are 4 weeks into the season now, so I mean, we wouldn't drop any shows after just one episode. I mean, some of us would, but,
Sometimes it's warranted.
I at least watched 2 episodes of that trash show that we're not even going to talk about here because George didn't drop it.
And one of the shows we will talk about, I dropped after one episode, and Tony thus picked it up and watched more than one, but is now dropping it also.
Yes.
So, it pays to wait sometimes, a little bit, just a little bit. But we didn't intend to do that, but there's the happy accident. But yeah, how are you, Tony? We're back. Are you feeling good about talking about some anime? It's been a while.
Yeah, I guess.
Meh, meh.
Meh, meh, meh.
We're gonna keep the news short today. Normally, we'll dig into some news, but let's talk about a couple stories centered around Mamoru Hosoda, famous anime director, who has a new film coming out called Bell. Has a Japanese title. I forget what it is.
It does have a Japanese title.
And that does not has nothing to do with the word Bell.
No.
But there's a couple news stories. Tony sent me one of them, but then I had seen before that that the film was shown at the Cannes Film Festival and received a 14-minute long standing ovation, which supposedly I saw. After that, I saw a list on Twitter. Somebody ranked like all the standing ovations at that particular festival, and it ranked in the top 5. Not sure if it's any indication of a good movie or not, but that is a long time to stand and clap for something.
Yeah.
So I'm already excited about it. I mean, he's done so many things: Summer Wars and Wolf Children,
Boy and the Beast.
Boy and
Is
the
that what it's
Beast.
called?
Yeah, I think something like that. And then his first one, what was it? The time traveling. Can't remember what it's called now, but
Time traveling.
it
What?
has to do with time travel. High School Girl. Yeah, I can't remember. But he's done quite a few
The
things.
Girl Who Leapt Through Time?
Yes.
That's not. Is that him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was his first one. Thank you. Coming in with the
Yeah.
assist.
The Japanese title was stuck in my head. I couldn't quite get it out because I kept thinking Kageki Shoujo, but that's not right because that's a show this season. But it's something Kakeru. I don't remember. Whatever. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Time travel girl. Yeah, so he's done quite a few things. And it's funny because we get less and less Miyazaki films as time goes on, and everyone's sad about that. And he's supposedly working on some 3D film that's going to take forever. But every time Hosoda puts something out, it's always compared to Miyazaki. And he's had some good movies, but like it never really quite reaches those highs or those, that sort of, it has elements of it. I don't know. There's definitely a similarity. But you had alerted me to a news article of him receiving some flack from some of his press comments promoting this new one.
Well, he wasn't really receiving flack for it. He was the one throwing shade at other people, and it was just being reported on. That
Yes, I
you
guess
know,
that's true. Yeah.
I don't know that the article. It didn't seem like they were being overly critical of him. They're just saying that
Just reporting it.
he said these things. Yeah, he was kind of talking smack about Miyazaki, about how Miyazaki portrays women as precious, I guess, is
Yeah.
what he was taking issue with.
Yeah, almost like one note or just very one-sided female characterizations.
Yeah. And when I sent this to you, you responded, yeah, he's really one to talk because what show was it that you referenced?
Well, I thought of Wolf Children, which
Oh,
is a
yeah.
movie I love, but like the mom in that is so she can almost do no wrong. Like she's very, she does the best for her kids and stuff, but it's like,
Mm.
she's very much, what's the word, like glorified as a mom. Like, and she's kind of,
Mm.
almost like I don't want to say godlike, but she's kind of like the shining light in their lives, and there's not a lot of like, she's not portrayed. She's portrayed in kind of a precious way. Like,
Yeah.
that just made me think of that. And
Mm.
yeah. So I don't know, just calling the kettle black kind of felt
Yeah. And then he went on to talk smack about Steven Spielberg as well, a little bit,
like throw Spielberg in there
because
for some reason.
I don't even remember what it was. Something about sci-fi.
Oh yeah, he was bringing, which I thought was interesting. He was talking crap about, which I never saw, but the film adaptation of what's that dang book called? Um, it's a recent Spielberg thing, but it's that like futuristic sci-fi story that like crams all these
Oh.
references into it,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was turned off
The
to
video
it.
the video game one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
God, why can't I remember what the name of it is now?
it definitely seems anime inspired.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, yes, thank you. I never, I haven't read that or seen it, and I just, from what I heard about it, I was just kind of wanted to avoid it. But yeah, that was the thing he brought up, like as if that's like one of Spielberg's like watermarks or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't necessarily talking crap about Spielberg directly, but he was talking about that movie. That,
Yeah,
yeah,
which he directed, so it's like okay,
sort of indirectly. Yeah.
yeah. And it's funny to me that he's bringing Miyazaki up and kind of throwing him under the bus because Miyazaki at this point is known for being kind of a grumpy old man, and these comments kind of make Hosoda look like a grumpy old man too.
Yeah.
So
He's like, oh, you guys like grumpy old men? I can do that. I'll be a grumpy old man.
ooh, imagine a readaptation of that comedy, Grumpy Old Men, with had Walter Matthau, and imagine Miyazaki and Hosoda starring in it. That'd be great.
Yeah, probably wouldn't actually.
But despite all this, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm sure we'll both check that out, Bell, when it's available.
Yeah.
New
Oh,
Hosoda
absolutely.
movie.
Yeah.
Every time I see one of his movies, like there's some I like more than others, but I always am waiting for one to just really just knock it out of the park. Like I feel like he's had some highs, but he hasn't really had like his just solid film, like a Your Name or like any of Miyazaki's major films that are so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope it's awesome.
Me too. I don't think it will be, but I hope so.
We'll see how long we stand and clap after we see it.
All right. We got a timer. We can time it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of time, we're gonna move on because we got some stuff, some housekeeping here. First off, before we get
Housekeeping.
housekeeping, we got some tiny jackets.
It doesn't work when I tap on that. Hello, sir. You need some towels?
Go away!
Housekeeping.
Dang it! Oh, it's just you. So we've been covering shorts on the podcast, but we've realized that outside of just mentioning them once, there's not much more to say. It's like, oh, they did it again. So yeah, we're going to kind of leave it at that, but we have a couple to mention. One of them is called Yamishibai,
Yamishibai.
which Japanese, I forget the English title. It's like Japanese
Theater of Darkness, I think
Theater
is
of
what
Darkness.
they call it.
Yeah, Theater of Darkness.
Iterashai mite. Terashai.
Is that all?
Yamishibai no jikan da yo.
Is that always the intro?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it has been since season 1. This is the 9th season of Yamishibai, and it's been, a short the whole
Mm.
time. And it's very hit and miss. Like some of the episodes are, I mean, none of them are like super scary or anything like that, but some of them do a better job of creeping you out. And
Yeah.
some of them are just like, oh, okay, that must be a Japanese thing
Yeah.
that I don't get.
And I had never seen it, and you've told me about it. So I started with this season, and there's 3 episodes out, and I caught up on them. I don't think you're caught up on this season.
No, I fell behind.
And they're really short, like 4 minutes a piece. But
Yeah.
it's what do you call the animation? It's like not like stop motion. I mean, it's kind of
It's
like
like
stop motion,
paper theater.
but
So
paper
like
theater.
Yamishibai is a play on the word Kamishibai, and Kami means God, but also means paper
Yeah.
in Japanese. So paper theater, literally like little paper cutouts that you would put on like a puppet show with. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
sort of the animation style is
Yes.
mimicking that, where it's these drawings that are, yeah. I guess the thing that I usually call it is motion comic. It's like motion comic esque
Mm.
in that it's like a still frame that there's some motion in it.
Yeah. And so it's like as animation goes, it's kind of crude, I guess, of like but it's kind of cool. It gives it this aesthetic that is unique.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second one of this season I kind of liked, but in most of these, you can kind of tell where it's going at a certain point because they're only 4 minutes, and it's got to end
Yeah.
on some sort of spooky, like cliffhanger or just ending.
Right. Yeah. Usually not a cliffhanger. Usually a
Yeah,
something that you're introduced to in the first 30 seconds comes back in some way or
yeah,
something. Right.
yeah. Well, like if anyone watches the second episode of this season, it ends with like the twist is the ending, but then it kind of leaves it hanging of like what happens after that. Like it's like this is the I don't want to spoil it, but it's like this is the twist, and so it ties it all together of the story it was telling. But then like the character is still seemingly in danger, like that's just over. But it's kind
Yeah.
of cool. It's like a fairy tale or something like that, folk
Yeah.
tale.
No one ever gets out alive in Yamishibai.
Mm,
Like it's always bad news for your main character.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Always.
doomed. You're doomed. So hopefully, neither of us ever stars in a Yumishibai episode. But there's that one, pretty good. Recommend it. A lot of seasons to dig into. And then there's another one that you turned me on to, which is a 9 minute long Studio Ponok animation that
Studio Ponok, or are you talking about the 4C?
what was it? Tomorrow's Leaves.
Tomorrow's Leaves, that's the 4C.
Was it 4C? When I was
Yeah.
watching it, I saw the Studio Ponok logo, so it confused me. But
Well, the Studio Ponok one was the Google game thing.
yeah, well,
I
I know.
said Google and it fucking came up. No, Google. No.
Maybe it was a co-production. I watched that Tomorrow's Leaves like just a couple hours ago, and it had Studio Ponok on there.
Oh, okay.
But maybe I remember you said 4C as well, so maybe it was like a co-production or something. But
Yeah, because I think it was supposed to be
4C.
4 degrees C,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And then Studio Ponok was the Google game thing, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was a co-production. I didn't realize
could
that.
be. I just
I
remember
didn't-
seeing that.
I didn't watch it, so
You sent it to me, and I watched it.
I know. I saw it and I was like, oh, I should tell George about this because I'm going to watch it. That way he can have watched it as well. And then I didn't watch it.
Which is fine. I mean,
I fell
folks,
asleep.
we got Tony's been working more this week, as have I. But it's hard. You can't always catch up on everything each week. But it was pretty good. It's silent. I mean, not silent, but it has no voice acting.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty, lush. The guy that directed it, I forget his name, but he works on some Studio Ghibli works, mostly Takahata stuff. Like he worked on Grave of the Fireflies, and he worked on The Tale of Princess Kaguya. And so it kind of, when I was watching it, I thought of Ghibli because it has like, or Miyazaki, but it has like little elemental sprites that are like super cute, and the characters have like these soft edges, and just kind of evokes that Ghibli kind of style of warm fuzzy adventure kind of thing.
See, I thought the Google game one was directed by the guy that directed Grave of the Fireflies. He directed both of them?
Yeah, I mean, I got that from the description of the YouTube video, the Tomorrow's Leaves.
Huh. Okay.
And I guess we haven't mentioned it was commissioned by the IOC for the Olympics
Yeah.
this year, which
I,
just started.
I guess it was used as part of the Olympic opening ceremony, maybe.
Was it? I was trying to I was reading that description and it didn't really say, but
I
I
think I
was
saw something about that. Like the description that I read said that it was created for the Olympics cultural committee or whatever.
mm,
The IOC's like their cultural division or whatever. It was supposed
okay.
to be. I don't know. Um, it was supposed to be conveying their cultural mission or something. I guess. Again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think I saw somewhere else that it was part of the opening ceremony in some way. I don't know.
okay. Was represented somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing itself it was okay. It was just generally about like different kids on this island who were with their parents seemingly and do different things. Like there's all these different elements represented. So it's very like a nature themed sort of ecological kind of thing. And it shows them running and sort of doing volleyball and sort of playing basketball, but it's all like centered around this nature theme. I don't know. Seemed vaguely related to the Olympics, but
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia for it, and yeah, it says it's Studio Ponok.
maybe you just confused those or reading about them.
Was the no? Because the other one, I don't think was Studio 4C.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
That one I didn't look too deeply in. The other one, the
Mm,
Google one.
huh. I don't know where I got my information from, but seems like maybe I was wrong.
No, Tony. No, no.
I said maybe.
Ah, I can't take this. I'm the wrong one. um, but yeah.
Was the other one Studio 4C?
I'm not sure.
God,
But either
maybe.
way, we don't have time for that. We got to move on and drop some shows. What do you say?
Wait, you don't want to talk about the Google one?
Well, I did. We can if you want. I
No.
didn't really look into it much.
Oh, okay. It's fine then.
But they whatever studio that was, they did it was like a Google because Google has like a daily sort of
Yeah, they
art
have their
thing.
Google Doodles. Google, stop it. Just because I say Google doesn't mean I'm talking to
And
you.
I'm saying Google, it only knows your voice.
Stop it. Okay, I went to sleep. I feel like I should turn off my phone before I even try and talk about it anymore.
Well, you've already said the
But
G word.
they have the doodles that they do,
Mm.
and they not always, but they multiple times a week generally have some sort of doodle, and occasionally they have a game that you just go to the Google homepage. Sorry, I was waiting for my phone to respond, and it did not.
It's now a co-host of the podcast.
You go to the homepage, and instead of the normal logo, you'll see, like a game or something. And they have this game that's sort of inspired by the Olympics. And yeah, it must be that one that's Studio 4C then. I think, yeah, I just got them mixed up in my head. I don't know.
Maybe.
I haven't been sleeping a lot lately.
I forgive you. You reminded me though. I haven't been watching the Olympics closely, but I happened to catch them briefly, and there was a commercial for Taco Bell that was like this total like anime commercial about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like battling, and they were like, there's some new fries that they have at Taco Bell that they were like promoting, but it was like mecha battles and explosions, and I was like, it's so funny to me. The Olympics are in Tokyo, and it's like, well, we got to produce a bunch of anime,
Yeah.
which I like, but
I saw something else too. Now that you mention it, when I was watching the Olympics one night after watching a horrible anime that made me want to not watch anime anymore.
we'll get to that.
Anyway, and they had these sort of athlete profiles of some of the well-known athletes who were expected to do well at this year's Olympics, and they had drawn them as anime characters, and they did like their introductions basically.
Oh, nice.
There was like the gymnastics girl whose name I don't remember, and there's the swimmer whose name I don't remember, and then there's the other gymnastics guy whose name I don't remember. But
Oh yes, those are all great athletes.
yeah, they are all pretty great. I think. I mean, I think they all got at least a couple of gold medals, as far as I know.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
No fencing girl though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dang.
I think
she should get one now.
I think she was unexpected.
Yeah.
I think that win was unexpected.
That was pretty cool. First USA gold in fencing. It's pretty
Yeah,
male or female. It's pretty awesome.
that's what I'm saying. It was probably
Yeah,
unexpected. I
yeah,
mean, the French always take fencing, right? Like
yeah.
that's just the way
Which
it
makes
is, right?
sense. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
she's from the hometown of our buddy. But anyway,
Oh,
yeah, Lexington, Kentucky.
yeah.
All right. Are we
All right.
good? Are we
Let's
good on the
let's drop
shorts?
some shows.
Let's do it, baby. Welcome to the drop. I want some dramatic music there.
Just need to add some like echo or something. Welcome to the drop. Yeah, exactly.
So starting us off, we're gonna bookend these drops. We have 8 shows to drop, ladies and gentlemen. So strap in if you're fond of these shows and you love them. Which one of them which I'm dropping? I'm sure I'm gonna break some hearts, but deal with it. Get in the comments.
We also have more shows to drop, except not both of us are dropping some of them.
Yes, these are shows that will not be featured on the podcast from here on out. Other shows may or may not be dropped in the future. Check back here, or in the future, check back to see if they're still with us. But we're going to bookend them with shows that we're both dropping, starting with The Detective is Already Dead.
Oh,
Unfortunately, we already dropped some of these shows 2 weeks ago, but like I said, we lost those recordings. The Detective is Already Dead. I really liked the first episode. It wasn't amazing, but it just grabbed me. It was funny. I really like the main female character, the titular detective. But as the title would suggest, she is dead. And so the second episode, she's completely written out of it. I mean, it's not completely written out of it, but she's completely out of it. And she's dead in the show. And I don't think that's a major spoiler. And they introduce these other characters that I do not care about. And I was checked out.
Yeah. I mean, even the first episode, I was not super wild about this. It was like, so it's like an episodic detective thing. They're going to do some detective work every show. It's going to be a different thing that they're being detectives about every show. But yeah, then she died. And now it's just her sidekick who is now the main detective. And like just the plot of the second episode is just, it's trash.
And I had mentioned in the episode we lost that it's reminiscent of the plot of the, I want to say late 90s romantic comedy Return to Me with David Duchovny and Minnie Driver.
You did mention that. I remember it now.
Yes, and not a fantastic movie, but much better than what's going on here. And I just got the feeling that this is going to devolve into a harem show, and I just don't care. So, unfortunately.
It does have that sort of vibe to it, I guess. But mostly I dropped it because it was really, really boring and uninteresting.
Yeah. The humor got me in the first, which you felt differently. I think you only kept watching it because I wasn't dropping it immediately.
Yeah.
But now we're good. We can move on, and we can hear what you have to say about the Realist Hero, or whatever the title is.
The Realist Hero. Let me find my sheet on that. The Realist Hero rebuilt the kingdom. Genjitsu Shugi Yusha no Okoku. I don't know. I messed up.
Japanese is hard.
Yeah, it's really. I wonder if I would do better if I wrote the Japanese titles in like hiragana instead of. I don't know. Probably not. Yeah. So I watched episode 2 of The Realist Hero. I had watched episode 1 in our first episode, and this show is boring and also fuck Funimation.
Yeah, Tony's been having issues with Funimation.
I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one. I haven't been.
I went on Reddit to research this issue, and many people are having the same issues that I'm having with Chromecast from my phone with the Funimation app. Audio severely out of sync by like seconds, multiple seconds.
Wow.
Out of sync audio. With the regular Funimation app on like Apple TV, you get the problem with the subtitles not always being quite right and sometimes being fast and stuff. And then so I used my laptop and tried to Chromecast from my laptop, and it didn't have the audio sync issue Chromecasting from my laptop. So that was great, except for the fact that when I turn on the subtitles, they show up on my laptop, not on the TV, the screen that I'm watching on. Like literally the video is not showing on my laptop. It's just saying playing on your TV, but the subtitles are.
That's crazy. That's
Um,
crazy.
anyway, Funimation is garbage. Boycott Funimation.
Um, yeah. Well, I hear you, buddy. But they got some shows on here. But despite that, you feel good about dropping Realist, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was pretty boring anyway.
Okay. Well, moving on, I am dropping a show that many people have been excited about. I've heard a lot of buzz online. People that like the manga. It's the case study of Vanitas, and I was into it at first couple episodes, but then this third one just lost me. It's kind of going for a I don't know, the word smut comes to mind, but it's a lot of like I didn't buy the character's motivations and why things were happening, why this new female character was just inexplicably being forcibly kissed during a battle, and why that was like, supposed to be a romantic thing, or like in some way. I don't know. I got the feeling it's not for me, and so I have to bail on it. I kept thinking like, well, maybe there's something that happens later, and it just really opens this story up, but I couldn't do it.
Mm.
If they would have set
So,
up,
sounds like a Josei thing. But,
yeah,
yeah.
and it might be, and there's a lot of pretty boys, and the main character Vanitas, who is who kisses this other female character, um,
He's the prettiest boy of them all.
he's very pretty, and I like him a lot. Like as a character, like I'm interested in him, but just where they're taking it and all this stuff, I was gonna say I used to be into this show slash manga called Loveless, which I always considered it kind of smut, kind of fits in a similar category. There's a lot of boy kissing
Mm.
and that kind of thing. But for me that worked at the time. This isn't doing it for me. So
Mm.
I imagine it's real popular with the ladies,
Mm.
but yeah, I don't know. It's dropped.
All right. What am I dropping next?
Next, you're gonna tell us about Remain.
Remain? Oh, I dropped that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's the show that I had dropped from the first episode. You picked it up, and now you're dropping it.
Yeah. So, I watched the second episode before dropping this one. I was just hoping that the drama that was introduced in the first episode would continue to surface in some way, and it might later. But this episode was just pretty much standard sports anime plot,
Yeah.
and that combined with the fact that it's on Funimation.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Fuck Funimation.
Language. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna keep saying it.
Fuck funny. Fuck funny. Okay, so that's a Remain, and then we'll go on to one of mine, which is the Dungeon of Black Company. Essentially, I was hoping this would be funnier than it is, and it's not. It's mildly funny, but then there's a lot of sexual innuendo with lolly demon
Mm.
type character, which she was kind of funny, but I wasn't into it. It's kind of insufferable lead character who yells a lot and
Mm.
doesn't want to do any labor, which I guess is funny on it at first, but then not.
Yeah,
So
it's a funny concept to start with, and then you have to build on it, or don't, I guess.
yeah, and maybe it goes somewhere, but I just got the sense that like another show on this list that we're dropping, that it's just gonna keep doing the same gag,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
it's not funny enough to.
I know the show you're talking about.
And it's not this show nor the other one are funny enough to hold my interest. So.
Mm. This was one of those that I was thinking you were watching in that so bad it's good sort of way. Wasn't that either?
No, I mean it's competently made. Like it looks fine.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't look like trash or anything. And like I said, there are some funny parts with that lolly demon. Like there's one part where the main character is taking a bath and she just like walks in and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she like gets in the bath and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm peeing." And she just like pees in the bath. Which it doesn't show anything, and then he's just like grossed out, and it made me giggle. Like
I mean,
she peed in the bath.
I giggled at your description of that, just like what?
And it had nothing to do with the story or anything. So when
Fair enough.
and then that's all I can really say about it.
Mm. Lolly demons peeing in bathtubs, you guys. Get
should
on that show right now.
She should be the main character. Now, Tony, you're going to tell us, I got on this list, about a show called D-Cide Traumaray?
Troy Marai.
Traumaray?
It's a German word.
Trauma ER?
No, Troy Marai. It's a German word. It means, oh crap. I looked this up like 2 weeks ago.
Oh shoot.
And now it's escaping me. What does it mean?
Here, I'll look it up while you talk about it.
It's you're not going to have enough time to look anything up because this show is not good. The plot is somewhat Digimon-esque. The only reason I was watching it is because one of the characters is voiced by Aoyuki, the
Oh yes.
my favorite voice actress, who has voiced Madoka and Kumiko from Spider, and so many other things.
Yeah.
Um,
MVP.
and she was in this episode, and like yeah, she does fine, I guess. But yeah, story wise, just like yeah,
She's not enough to carry it.
yeah.
Dreaming is what it says it means.
Dreaming. That is not the word that it came up with when I searched for
really?
it before. But daydreaming.
daydream, yeah.
Daydreaming. Yeah, more
It has
specifically.
alternate, yeah, dreaming or daydream. It
What's
says.
what's the weird English word that you hear all the time in Japanese films or anime and stuff that means daydreaming, but it wasn't on the list.
Mm-mm.
Huh. Why can't I think of it? It's probably not important enough to spend this much time on,
Yeah, I don't think so.
to be honest.
We should probably move on.
Hey Google, what's tremor I mean? No, not what's tremor I mean. No. Thanks, Google. No.
All right.
Google
well,
doesn't understand German, apparently.
We'll just leave it hanging there.
Reverie. Reverie. That's the word.
Reverie.
Reverie.
Okay.
That
just come up in anime.
That is the definition that was returned to me when I looked up Troimerai,
Reverie.
and then I had to look up what reverie meant because like I had a vague idea of it, but like it wasn't my idea of what it meant wasn't quite what it means, which is just sort of daydreaming, being lost in thought, basically.
Yeah.
And I guess it relates to this show in some ways, but it's a bad show, so who cares? All right, talked about it for too long. Go.
Moving on. Battle game in 5 seconds.
5 seconds. 4.
Not
3.
interesting.
Good job. You did it.
Watch Saw. And that's not saying much. So yeah, that battle game, I didn't care. I mean, when the main character dies in the first 5 minutes, where are the stakes? There's no stakes. Okay, so speaking of detective, the last show we have to talk about something we're both dropping. We gave it quite a bit of a chance. Uramichi Onisan.
You more than me.
Yes,
because I dropped it after the first. It must have been. No, the second. It must have been the second.
Yeah, you kept going after the first.
Because the first would have been week 1, and then week 2, which was Lost, was where I dropped it. And I'm just looking for my notes while I ramble.
I got halfway through the 4th. I don't know why. I just kept wanting it to, like I hinted at this earlier, but it's one of those shows that has a gag, and it's doing the gag.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to do more than that. Like, it still has like this element of the main character having this ennui and just being kind of depressed and with where his life is headed. But they're not really exploring it to the depths that I would like them to. They're still kind of just doing these gags that have diminished returns of humor.
Yeah. I mean, the more they keep hitting the same note, the less you care. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guess that's basically part of the reason that I dropped it. It's fine. It's just not really that entertaining. It's that same joke. I was expecting there to be a little bit more darkness in the darkness that he's being portrayed to have, but the darkness is really just him being depressed because he has a shitty job. Well, I have a shitty job. You have a shitty job. We all have shitty jobs.
Yeah. It's like, deal with it, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
and also hashtag fuck Funimation on this one as well.
Oh, yes. Yep. That's a real popular hashtag there. Should be, but yeah.
I would love if that gets going. Just spread it around, guys. Just hashtag fuck Funimation.
Yep. And Sony at large.
Yeah.
But
mostly Funimation, because Sony has the money. They could make it work better.
They could.
But
if they buy Crunchyroll like they want to, then they really won't care.
Well, so I'm actually thinking that might actually be a good thing at this point, because they could take the Crunchyroll engine, which people have complaints about as well. But,
sure. Merge them, basically.
Yeah, maybe like the video engine. Actually, the front end engine for Funimation is worse than Crunchyroll's, which everyone complains about being bad. Yeah, I don't know. Just scrap Funimation and just
Yep.
crunchy it all up.
Just add all those shows to Crunchyroll.
Well, just, use Crunchyroll and just copy it over to Funimation. Put all your dubs on Funimation so that I don't have to see them.
No. Now I'm taking.
No, that's what Funimation is for. It's for dubs.
Yeah, but if Sony's gonna buy Crunchyroll, then they might as well just add everything to Crunchyroll because Crunchyroll has dubs too.
That would make sense, but it would make way more sense for them to make twice as much money by having 2 subscription services.
I mean, I guess that's true, but not if they're going to continue.
One of
having
which does dubs and one of
UI.
which does subs, and yeah, right. And that's why I'm saying take the Crunchyroll UI and the Crunchyroll backend even for the video. Like just take all of Crunchyroll, move it over, change all of the orange to purple. There you go. Now you've got your new Funimation that people will not want to kill themselves when they try to use it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is
that it? That's all the shows we're dropping?
It. Those are 8 shows. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm just going to drop some more here. Let's see. What do we got?
We don't have time for this.
No. Well, I mean, we'll talk about that next show and
you got nothing.
And okay. Well, I guess it's time to wrap up then.
Woo!
So I always say this thing at the end of episodes, but it's been a couple weeks and I've forgotten. You can find us on all the social medias, like Twitter and some of the other ones, Instagram, Facebook, whatnot. Whatnot is not a social media. That's just a way of saying and other things.
Oh, that'd be a good name though.
Whatnot.com.
Whatnot. I'll hit you up on the Whatnot.
Yeah. I'm going to go register it right now before this episode goes out. Anyway, yeah, you can find us on all of those social channels at @umlikeanime. That's UMLIKEANIME. And we try to respond to everyone. And I have to give a special shout out to someone who has been adding us on Twitter for the last few weeks. And for some reason, my Twitter notifications are broken or something. I'm trying to figure it out. Hopefully, they're going to start working again. But Duke Baloney on Twitter. Hey man, I see your messages now. I didn't see them before. I apologize for not responding, but thank you for thank you for adding us. Thank you for sending us messages, and I'm going to do better and try and respond more in the future, assuming that my phone actually works.
Yeah, they've really been engaging with us, and we had no idea.
Yeah, for like a month.
That's great.
Like feel terrible.
It's not great that we missed it, but it's great that you're out there. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And they're quality comments too. It's not just like random nonsense. Yeah. Other than the Scrooge McDuck one, which was it was just funny. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Like Anime on all the socials. You can find us on our website. We're on YouTube. We're just search Like Anime. UMLIKEANIME. You'll find us everywhere. You apparently already know how to find us because you're listening to the podcast right now. But if you want to interact in more ways, you can, find us in other ways as well. What was the other thing I was going to say?
We got a Patreon.
Patreon.
Why not?
Yep. There is a Patreon that would help us buy more things. Like we keep just buying things for this podcast out of our own pockets, and we're just going to do that anyway. So but if you want to chip in a few dollars every month to help us, what's the word?
I don't know. I mean, we really want to get some cameras going, so it'll help towards that. But also, it's kind of encouragement. Like, you like what we do, and you want us to keep doing it. Like, that goes a long way.
Mitigate's not the word I was looking for, but it's close. Help us mitigate the costs.
Oh, yes. That we're already going to.
Yeah, we're going to spend the money anyway because, we like doing this podcast thing, and we want to make it good for you so that you'll enjoy it and you will listen to it, and then that'll make us want to do it more. And I just keep talking. I'm getting the wrap it up signal from George over there. Now he's miming wrapping a gift. This is great. How long could I drag this out? Oh, now he's sort of doing a DJ thing with one hand and like I don't know what the other hand was doing, but rapping like without the W. Okay.
Yes.
I gotcha.
I ran out of things.
All right. Well, then I guess we should wrap it up.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. If you listen to the last 5 minutes of this, then you're a trooper. Bye. We'll see you.
See you guys.